I'm Shari Lawrence, and I'm a volunteer at the National Museum of the United States Army at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Because as a almost 30-year Army civilian working in public affairs, I really grew to love the Army, understand the Army, and enjoy telling the Army story, which I got to do in several assignments as a public affairs officer. And when I retired, I wanted to continue to do that. Actually, I believe it's the Medal of Honor. I was working in public affairs with the Army Personnel Command at the time, and I got to help with a lot of the Medal of Honor recipient displays. I got to meet several of them. I got to help make sure that their parchments, that their certificates were proofed properly with no typos. And I just grew to really enjoy working with them. The Army was very instrumental in going back and doing a review of the World War II Medal of Honor submissions and those that were also Distinguished Service Crosses to ensure that we did not leave African American soldiers behind. And we were able to find 7 who had been discriminated against, and we were able to bring their stories forward and put them in their rightful place. I just like being around people. And I think telling the Army story makes it even more fun, but it gets me out, gets me going, gets me to people who have a like interest, who want to know about the Army, who may have served, or they're planning to serve, or their children are serving. And I think everybody needs to know the story, the full story of the Army. I was a public relations journalism major at Northeast Louisiana University, and my mom moved up here from New Orleans to take a job with Coast Guard. I worked with the Coast Guard, but it wasn't public affairs, wasn't what I really wanted to do. And I had an opening to go to an internship at Fort McNair and got in there, had a great time, worked with Arlington Cemetery. Then I went to Fort Drum as the media relations officer, and back down to Washington at the Human Resources Command, and just thoroughly enjoyed being part of I've considered being part of the Army, being a civilian. The chiefs of staff would always say that, we're soldiers too, and our stories are important as well. I can't think of anything else that I would rather have done for the rest of my life. That the Army is accessible. The Army is human. We make mistakes. My last job with the Army was in Personnel Command, and my main job was working with casualties, with families, and the media, and trying to help everybody understand it's a zero defect process. You don't get a second chance to do it right. And sometimes we didn't get it right, and we had to make it right. But everybody's human, and that's a very difficult job to do. And so I felt very fortunate to be able to help with that. I felt very honored to be there with some of those families who asked me to be their public affairs officer at funerals. And I really became a part of a lot of their families. They still keep in touch with me, wanting to know how I'm doing, worrying about how I was handling all of this. And so I think, it just gives a little bit more of a human interest into what really happens. They're not just soldiers who get on a plane and go away to places that some can't tell where you're going, and then they don't come home. And it also helps understand that once you do come home and do have problems, you do have issues, PTSD is very real. And I think the more we understand that and the more we accept it, the better off we're going to be, the better off the Army's going to be. Oh, I think everybody should do it. It's all of my experiences that we've had with the training. There are a lot of people who are involved in it, who have their own stories to tell. And frankly, I'm very excited about being able to get into the museum and meeting a lot of the people. You know, we've been able to meet a few times, but certainly nothing that has really been the experience that I think we're going to have. So I'm very excited about getting back in there and becoming part of history. I've had friends who actually had gone through before, and they were so excited when it first opened. And they've come back telling me, oh, it's great, and I love this, and I want to see that again, and I'm coming back. And I think if you're interested in the Army, if you're interested in the history of the United States, this is definitely a place to come. It's accessible when you're in DC, and it's free, and you have all kinds of options to go in and discover what you're looking for, as well as going online and learning from there too.